I'm Andrew Joseph Keith. I'm an online sculpting instructor, and in this video I wanted to talk about some of the issues with online art courses, and these issues are just as relevant in my online courses. So it's important to me to be transparent about some of the issues that do come along with getting online courses so that you can get the most out of any online course that you might decide to get. And so, full transparency, disclaimer, I teach online courses. That's how I make the majority of my income. I love being able to give information that I've found valuable to people all around the world. And so there's a lot of benefits from online courses, but they don't come without the downsides. And that's kind of what I want to talk about in this video. And so just to get started, I looked up top 5 issues or problems with online courses, and I wanted to go through these, talk about those. There's one in particular that I feel like is the biggest issue, and some of the things that they're trying to do to mitigate some of those issues, as well as things that you can do on your end to try to get the most out of free content as well as premium online courses that you might purchase. So the first issue is the lack of engagement and interaction. Obviously, if you're in an in-person course, then you're able to see the instructor, you're there with your fellow students, you're able to talk to them, get to know them, you're in a physical space that's just for that class, and there's a lot of benefits to that. For one thing, it's just easier to focus your mind when you're at a location that's just specifically for that one thing. And so this is why I'm also a really big proponent of in-person workshops. If you can go somewhere and take a class from an artist, I think there's a reason that that's a lot more of an expensive option, and that is because you get a lot more out of it when you're there in a physical location with other students. There's just an energy that's a little bit different, and that's something that's really hard to duplicate online. Now, as I'm going through this, I wanted to invite you guys to think about ways that if there's anything that I could do, maybe to help build a community or do live streams or online competitions is something that I've dabbled in, just something to help increase that engagement and interaction with myself and fellow students. And we'll try to, as much as we can, get something like that going. So if you have any ideas, please comment those below, because I really do want everybody to get the most out of the free content that we put up here on my personal channel as well as on the Proco 3D channel. And especially, I want the paying students to get the most out of their course, because they're the ones that actually make all this possible. I wouldn't be able to do all of this free content if it wasn't for those that actually value the information enough to purchase the full courses. So the second thing with online courses that it mentions is technological issues. Proco has fortunately been really on top of the technology side of everything and building a really nice, clean website. I don't know what goes into that. Stan's a really tech-savvy guy, so he understands that in a way that I never will. I'm not that interested in that side of it. And so that's something just to watch out for. For the most part, I feel like if the online courses are offered in a place that's, like Gumroad or other places that are for online courses, then those issues are usually ironed out pretty quickly, but it can be very frustrating if you're trying to learn something or trying to watch a lesson and you just can't figure out how to navigate, or it's not working, it's not downloading, it's slow, or those things are always very frustrating. That's why the technology side of it, without the technology, there wouldn't be online courses, and so that's an important element of having a good experience with an online course. So this next one, I think, is the biggest issue. It's the one that it's really hard for me to do that much about it on my end. It really comes down to you as the student, and that's just self-discipline and time management. Just finding the time to watch the video lessons and actually do the assignments that come along with them. That's something that you just, there's no way to cheat it. There's no like quick and easy become a master at sculpting with 5 minutes every other week. It just doesn't happen. Anything in the arts, any sort of art endeavor requires time and energy and consistency. And if you're going to become good at anything in the world, then it requires that consistent effort regularly. That takes energy. It takes motivation. That's hard. It's hard to self-motivate. And I saw a statistic somewhere, I don't know if it's accurate, but it says that like something like 6% of people that take an online course actually go through it and just watch the entire course. And I imagine of that 6%, there are even less that watch the videos and then do the assignment with every video of the course. So that's a huge percentage of people that aren't extracting the value of something that they've already purchased just because they lack that motivation and that time management and discipline to invest a regular amount of time into improving that skill. So let me tell you something that I did personally that really helped me with this issue, with creating more art. I knew I wanted to create more art. I knew I wanted to do more sculpting. And so something that I decided that I would do is that I would create an Instagram account. This was like 6 years ago. And I said, you know what, I'm going to post something every day. And so that means I need to be creating something new every day to be able to post. And I also want the things that I'm creating to be decent enough to share with others. And as I did that, I found that I was much more motivated to do the work, to sculpt regularly. I got better faster than I was on my own. So that's something that I encourage you guys to do. If you don't have an account just specifically for your art, then consider creating an account on a social media that you enjoy and then just post regularly. I wouldn't try to make the videos super edited or anything like that. You don't want this to be a headache, so you don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to spend an hour editing this reel so that it's all polished and everything, because then it just becomes a chore. You don't want it to be a chore. You just want it to be a way of establishing accountability so that you're accountable to yourself, that you said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to post every day something, and then accountable to other people, the people that follow that account. And I've just found that accountability is really helpful for improving a skill. So that's one thing. Again, if you have ideas on things that people can do to become more motivated to go through their online courses and actually do those assignments, the things that'll help them improve, let me know that in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. I'm sure other artists would love to hear that as well. So the last thing that this mentions is quality and credibility concerns. I'm really fortunate to have been able to work with Stan Prokopenko and the Proko team because they really got course building for artists down to a science. Stan did an amazing job in his course, and he had some world-class instruction himself, and so he understood how he was taught, and he was able to teach others that way, and then he was able to pass that on to his team, pass it on to me, and I was able to learn how a really well-built course is created. And fortunately for me, my course has, I think, like a 99.7 or 0.97 or something like that. It's like a really high rating. So as far as everybody that's taken it, it's like a 99% positive feedback rating. I knew that I didn't want to create a course that was cheap, that was poorly thought out, and that didn't have a lot of information. I wanted it to be the best sculpting course on that topic that was out there in the world. I don't know if I accomplished that, but I tried my best to do just that, and the people that have given feedback have seen the effort that was put in, not only by myself, but by the team at Proko. Not everybody puts in that amount of work. To give you guys an idea of how much work went into it, it was like working a part-time job for 2.5 years before the course was released. So I was writing scripts, I was filming videos, I was doing the sculptures, I was researching, I was reading books, I was talking to other professional artists about how they did things like build wire armatures, and I was just gathering all this information and putting it down and trying to organize the course, creating bullet points for what each lesson would cover, and there was so much that went into it that it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of work before it was even released for pre-sale. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that much work when they create something like an online course. Now, not every online course has to be that. If it's a cheap online course that's just teaching you one specific thing, you know, you just want to know that one thing. Like, let's say it's just a course on how to make a mold of this sculpture, and that's the only thing that it goes over, and it's just kind of straightforward, and maybe it's a $15 course, then that's reasonable. Like maybe it's worth $15 to learn the process of making a mold of something like this. But for me, I wanted it to be a premium course, a college level amount of information and benefit to the people that took the course. It was going to be more expensive for online courses. Mine's a pretty expensive course, but then it was also going to be more professionally done, better editing, better information. You want to make sure that whatever course you're getting, that the price is commensurate with the amount of information and the quality of the course itself. You also want the instructor to be good at communicating, and not everybody's good at teaching. I try to get better at it. I do enjoy teaching. I enjoy sharing ideas and concepts and what I've learned and trying to get other people to participate and receive the information that's been so valuable to me. But not everybody has that. And so I'd say as you're getting courses, look at the work that the people do. Is that quality of work the type of work that you want to do? And if you can find content out there of the person just speaking, whether it's their YouTube channel or social media or live streams they've done or whatever, then you can kind of get a sense of who the person is and if they'd be a good instructor. And that's helpful to know before you go ahead and purchase a course. So online courses are not a get mastery quick scheme. Like it takes years to develop a skill. And if you don't have the self-motivation to invest time into something, it doesn't matter how many online courses you're going to get if you don't spend the time actually working with a material. If it's sculpting, actually moving material around, building that muscle memory of forming different features and understanding proportion and getting an eye for the figure itself and for gesture and all of those things, it just can't be built without hours of time devoted to that thing. And so ideally you would really enjoy whatever it is that you're getting the online course about, or it's something that you recognize how valuable it is for you to know that thing. So it might not be something that you enjoy, but maybe you take a course on, how to file your taxes so that you like save thousands of dollars. And so it might not be something you enjoy, but you're like, well, this $100 course is worth it if I can save a couple $1,000s. If it's something where I'm like, well, I could see the value in knowing that information. If that value is enough to pull you through the course, then you have to have that, or you just have to have the discipline and receive the enjoyment of actually doing the activity. I think that's fairly easy with art courses. I enjoy art, but it still takes discipline. Even if it's something you enjoy, it still takes discipline to set aside time to do that thing. Something that I wanted to mention is that if you are interested in sculpting and you haven't created a free account over at Proko.com and taken advantage of all of the free content, I actually put together a PDF for the figure sculpting course as well as one for the portrait sculpting course, and it's just an assignment checklist. It just has the video description and the assignment, and then you just go through the PDF, you watch the video lesson, you do the assignment, you check it off, and you just work through the course that way. It's separated into like free videos and premium videos. Just go through the free videos. And if all you did was get the free PDF, then watch the free content, and then do the free assignments, create a free account over at Proko.com, and then even with that free account, you can submit images of your assignments. So that's another way you can hold yourself accountable to say, I'm going to submit the assignment, images of this assignment, and ask for feedback. And if you were just to do those things, then you would be in a better position and you would learn more about sculpting than I'd say 95% of the people that have purchased the full course. All right, that's it for this video. If you're interested in sculpting, I hope you check out those PDFs. I hope that you, if you can, I hope that you get the full courses, the figure sculpting course or the portrait sculpting course. Watch out for another course that's going to come out on hand sculpting, and that'll be like a mini course. It'll be a little bit less than the other courses. There's an assignment from that upcoming course. It'll be really fun. Thank you guys. Stay creative, stay productive. I'll see you in the next one.